This is our CNC milling area. As you can see, we've got 3 production mills over here, and we've got vertical mills up in the front. Our vertical mills are all set up with fixture plates. That makes for easy setup and changeover. We can actually set up jobs out on the bench. All our jobs have job sheets on them, as you can see by the job sitting on the floor. Those are process sheets that tell the people in CNC what they're going to be doing next. This is a good example of how we CNC our blocks. As you can see, we have 2 holes in there. These are puck holes, and they'll actually put this block in a vise, machine this side. The 1 puck hole has a little dot by it. That's the master puck, and we put those on a plate on the production mills, and we can eliminate all our setup time by using the plate. Here's an example of the plate. As you can see, the puck is on the bottom in the slot, so the master hole goes over top of that bottom puck, and then the other puck that's in the block just goes in the slot and it's bolted in through the back, and it's automatic. We just rotate the program to meet the slot on the mill. So all the setup and pickups are eliminated on the mill. This is a picture of the inside of the same mill. So as you can see, these mills are production mills. So as we're setting up on the outside, the inside is machining, and the table on the bottom that you can see here will turn, and it'll start machining on the one you just set up. At the same time, the one that's in there comes out, and you can take it down and set up your next block. Walking back through the shop, you can see there's a lot of dies covered with tarps. This is basically a request from one of our customers that likes to have their stuff concealed for purposes of how they do stuff, and also to keep the dust out of it. They're pretty finicky on grinding dust in their tools, and so they've asked us to keep them concealed. As we look this way, we've got a 4x8 laser that we can cut our own webs on. We can do early parts. We cut a lot of windows in our pads on this. Here's a good example of some die construction for a blank die. We make all our own shoes. All the steels are keyed. Here's some form steels and some other forms there. You can see the keys in the bottom of them. Here's some cams, cam slides, different components waiting for assembly. Quite a big range of tryout presses. You can see a gap frame back there, and I'll walk back there. But this is just kind of an overview of the back of the shop. You can see a small press there. There's a 600-ton Danley. This is an example of the construction on another one of the dies that are in here right now. As you can see, stuff is pocketed in the shoe. Things are mounted on keyways. Every block that's on the die is replaceable. If we have a detail number, we can make one, ship it anywhere in the world, and it'll bolt right on the die if you haven't done anything to the die to prevent it from doing so. Our construction for pins and guide bushings, etc., is all based on customer requests. Some customers want guide bushings, some customers want bulk. Our small gap frame press, and as we go around our big mill in the back, we can. This mill's got 100 front to back and 160 left to right, and we make all our own die sets on this mill. Here's an example of some cast construction on a shoe. Again, this is all done to customer specs. Everybody likes things done a little bit different, and we stay flexible enough to accommodate everybody's needs. Here's a picture of that big mill. I'm going up close now. I think there's probably a job in it right now. You can see some standard lifters in the job that's in here right now. That job is probably about 144 inches long. You can see the gap frame press that was in some of the previous shots is a full feed line. on that press so we can run dies off on the hop and try them out. This is a picture of our new Toshiba boring mill. That's new to us anyway. It's just getting online now. It's got a x-axis of 160 inches, y-axis of 100 inches, and a z-axis of 60 inches. Here's another example of some cast construction. We can basically do either or. We don't prefer one over the other. It's all customer request. This is our special machine building area. In robotics, we do a lot of work with integrating robotics and robots into weld cells and moving parts around in transfer dies and drilling, piercing. Here's a staking machine that has a vision system on it that actually checks the part to make sure it passes quality standards. Now we're actually going back. This is a view from the back of the shop looking forward. This is the feeder on our 164-inch press. That press is 800 metric tons, so it's more than that. It's probably 900 ton. It's 120 front to back, 164 left to right. It's got a full 72-inch feed line on it. It's got a rolling bolster, which happens to be in the up position right now. This is something that we can take and lift up and roll out across the floor on shop air. Next to that, we've got a 600-ton Danley press. Here's a picture of the die that's in that Danley press. You can get a little bit idea of some of the die construction. I'll walk around the other side and get a... Here's some smaller dies that we're just finishing up right now that we've just done the part runoffs on. Again, you can see some of the construction on the dies. Again, all customer specific to what they want. Here's our grinding room. It's its own separate room off to the side. We did this to keep all the dust out of the rest of the shop, and we've got all our grinders contained in this one room.
Have a good weekend.
Thanks, Al. We've got two Mitsubishi wire machines in our wire room. This is an FX30. This is a 20 by 30 inch submerged machine. It's got auto threading capabilities on it. And next to it we've got an FX10, which we use more for smaller items. It's got a lot smaller machining range than the FX30. Other than that, it's pretty much the same machine. This is our CMM room. We've got a full DCC machine in here, as well as an older manual machine. And we can do complete capability studies and everything on the parts you need. I think that's a 5-foot by 10-foot machine. Here's a picture of some of the fixtures that we're dealing with for parts that are in here right now, as well as another overview of the CNC area. There's several workstations like this around the shop. We're completely paperless out in the office. Anybody that's working on a die out here is calling it up off a 3D drawing from design, and it's all designed in 3D solids, so there are no paper drawings. The only paper we have is the papers that are on the blocks by the CNC mills that give the instructions for setup and so in the CNC mill. Here's another overview, standing on a stairway of the entire shop. You can see it goes a long ways back, and then way in the back there's a door that goes back to the special machines area. It's a 55,000 square foot facility. This is a good example of some of the projects that we've worked on in the past. We try to keep a little history going up here by saving a web from each die. Sample parts off line dies. And there's such a variety of things here that it would take all day to basically tell you what they are. But there's different materials, different sizes of parts. Some of them look familiar, some of them probably don't. All different thicknesses. I think you can probably tell by all the different sizes and shapes and material types and thicknesses that you're seeing that we're a pretty competent bunch around here. We've got some really good people with some really good ideas. We've got a very low turnover rate in our shop.